Okay, moving on. Yeah. Stacey wanted to know, will the ACCAs cover reception on Saturdays as well? Apparently there's...
Do you know, we said that the PHAs are going to be coming in to cover the ACCAs weekends. Will it work both ways where they'll help with the reception weekends?
So yeah, they'll all be put into...
Because there's like the clinic and kennels, but there's also the Saturday receptionist.
Yeah, so they'll all be put onto that rota, and then we will try and make the ACCAs do the ACCA duties, and we'll try and make the PHAs do more the reception and clinic duties. And yeah, that's how we're going to be. But yeah, there may be overlaps. It might be the PHAs have to do some ACCA duties.
Be like one-sided.
No, it'll be all the same. So it's not you're going to have you won't have a separate rota. They'll all be in the same sort of nutshell, and then they're just shared out between that. But we'll try and keep them to where they've got more skills and where they've got more of the training.
Okay, right? Okay.
But that will be once we're up and running with all our PHAs. Yeah, we've got them all up and running. So you mentioned before about the training.
Yeah.
And I think one of the last telephone calls we had, we spoke about, if you were happy, and you said you were happy just to do a couple of days,
That's going forward with me not realising I was actually allowed training.
Right.
Yeah.
So if that's changed, what would you like? What would you be expect? What would you like to see in terms of training or understanding the role?
Basically, when I went to dispensary, I was just doing the job. I was supposed to be shadowing, but there wasn't actually any training put in place. It was like, label comes out, find the drug, double sign it. I was like, okay. But that isn't the ACCA role on dispensary. Mm-hmm. The ACCA role on dispensary is the front desk, which I wasn't really shadowing at all. I did a couple of clients on the front desk.
You're talking about the ACCAs on the PHA?
Well, because the PHAs, if they're covering dispensary, they'll be doing the ACCA role on dispensary.
Okay, so it's actually sort of
the covering of the front desk is in dispensary.
And Stacey, how about the clinics? Have you had any?
No, I've shadowed. It's basically just turn up what someone's doing. No one's actually said, this is what you do here when. So there's been no structure to it. It's basically come in at 10 o'clock, shadow this one.
Okay.
Not like no one's actually trained me.
Right.
Because there's no point investing training in someone that could just leave.
Well, I think that's a very unfortunate thing that's been said to you, and absolutely you should have a true reflection of what the role is like. Yeah. I know that in shadowing that probably has given you an idea.
Yeah.
But there should be a bit more in there so that you know all the ins and outs, not just standing there watching and someone.
You're actually doing a course at the moment, and it's very structured, isn't it? The course that you're doing.
So it wasn't even like there's no training packs because everyone normally gets a training pack.
Okay.
It wasn't.
And is that so? Would you like to do more on dispensary? Have a really sort of deep delve and have the training pack on dispensary? Would you like to do that for that and clinics?
Because I don't know how long this trial period is going to go on for.
Well, it would be good to.
It would be good to agree that, to give you a little more time.
Well, my thinking is you should have had a 4-week training to start with. I would be happy if you did your 4-week training from now, but this has got to be your decision, and obviously it's got to work around the Blue Cross as well.
Yeah.
Because you've not had training shadowing. I mean, I could have been shadowing and not actually working. I could have followed somebody around. Doesn't mean you know the job.
But that's the thing, because I'm mainly reception. Lisa's got me on her rota now for like weekends and everything, even though I haven't actually taken the job.
Okay.
I mean, is there a structured work package that you've got for training ready for the new PHAs, for instance?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe that could be used now with Stacey.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that
That would be-
this hasn't come up before in our previous meeting. This didn't come up as a big problem.
I didn't
so,
realise I could
you
actually
know,
have training.
So
Yeah.
we're aware of it now, so we can,
Yeah.
you know, look into that. So, you know, we can go into the specific areas. You know, obviously the training program would take longer than 4 weeks because you're still doing your normal duties and rotas and things like that. But we can do parts of the training that gives you probably a good taster of what it's going to be like, if that's what you want to do. I mean, do you need to think about it, or do you do it at a time? Or?
You still have the option of the same package that you were offered before. That's not going to go away whilst you're doing your trial period. So if you decide that that piece looks like it's 4 weeks, then that's absolutely fine. Then that is still on offer to you. We wouldn't want to disadvantage you in any way.
Within those 4 weeks, you'll know whether you are being trained or not. You'll know and you'll be able to give feedback.
Yeah.
If somebody questioned you on stuff, you'd be able to answer them, and you'd be confident in what you were saying. If you should have to train somebody else, for instance, in those 4 weeks, if you're not fully trained or you don't feel it, obviously you could talk to extend it another week or so, should you need to. But I think you need to be given a really sort of good fair shot at this, because it is a sort of a job change for you.
So should we decide on 4 weeks then?
It's up to you, but that's what I would
Well, it's
suggest.
up to you
Oh,
if
no,
you
I
want
think-
to.
I do think I need proper training, not just what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't feel like, for instance, you wouldn't feel confident. How long have you been doing this now?
Well,
The shadowing and everything. How many weeks?
I've been basically on reception and just a few times shadowing.
Yeah. So how long since you took over this role? So how long has it been?
Since the 25th of May.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a while. That's what I'm trying to say. But you wouldn't feel confident to go into that role now and have to do that.
No, well, the clinics, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that shows that there's a training.
So I think in terms of reception,
Yeah.
you've had that piece of training is done, and you know thoroughly what that's all about. But things like clinic and dispensary, you need more information so that you can actually decide, is this what you want to do?
Yeah.
Which I think also embeds the fact that the mainstay of your role is where the training's taking place.
Yeah.
So that embeds again that if anything ever happens in the future where we have a need to, the third floor is way down the list.
Oh,
of,
no, yeah.
Yeah.
But would that always
Do
be
you know
like,
what I
oh,
mean?
next week we need you on third floor, let's do a risk assessment
No,
every
because
time?
when the risk assessment, when we've looked at all that outside of this meeting, when that's done, that stays in place for a good chunk of time, be it 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
It's not going to be done every month because
Okay.
it at the detriment to you
Yeah.
and also the person who's constantly doing it. And you know, as Vanessa said, your health condition isn't going to change drastically.
No.
So, yeah.
And that would sort of sit with Lisa, I would think, like
Yeah.
your line manager, to talk through that.
But we'll make sure that that's done appropriately as well.
And you agreed so you could speak to Lisa. Lisa's your line manager, so you're going to have to be really
Well, the letter
open.
states Steve, but
But Steve Lee-
Yeah, I think that was because
Until
when we
things were changing.
Because
things
there
are
is no-
changing.
She hadn't.
but there's no PHA management at the moment.
No, she's stepping up. She's doing that on a temporary basis.
Do you know when they're going to be in place?
Who, the new PHA?
The
management.
management. So we need to get that sorted as soon as possible. So really, by the time you've advertised, you've held interviews and things like that, it's at least 4 weeks away,
Yeah.
isn't it? So Lisa's going
Is
to
it
be.
ready to be advertised, or the management? for the PHA, do you know?
It's getting there, yeah. So it is. It's ready. We just need to make sure paperwork's kind of good.
Do you want to stand up?
That's right.
So, do you want to take away that time scale and think about it in terms of the 4 weeks and let us know? Don't decide now.
What do you think?
But it's got to be your...
I'm happy with
Yeah.
another 4 weeks.
Okay.
So
Was that-
you want this all done and dusted today, don't you? So you haven't got
But then
the stress
it's-
of worrying about it. So if you want to do that...
It's just that when we decide on these, it takes a lot of time to try and get me into these areas. Because like Annette doesn't have the nursing